Welcome to the Young and the Wrestlers. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Betts, and alongside...
Are you ready? I'm Degeneration X.
I do really like that one.
It's so good.
You can listen to us every Friday morning at 8 a.m. on your podcast services and 9 a.m. on the YouTubes very soon. If you want to show some support for the show, head over to thepopcultures.com/shop where you can buy shirts like the one that I'm wearing, although you can't see it because it's an audio format. It's very inspired by Seth freaking Rollins. If you want to show us an extra level support, head to the page patreon.com/popcultures. Maybe spend a couple bucks our way as I'm slowly looking into creating our own sort of monthly pay-per-views.
Yes.
I'm working on that. It should be pretty cool. Hey, B man.
Good. I have the post-Royal Rumble blues.
Oh yeah, no, I can relate to that something bad. But thankfully, with my day job, they're like because Monday being the public holiday here in Australia, before we went on the long weekend break, they're like, so like when we come back on the Monday, are we gonna watch the Rumble? I'm like, yes, we are.
Yeah.
So I get to watch it again.
Awesome.
I can't wait.
That'd be so good.
But it is like the thing that always baffles me about pay-per-views, right? Because they're always on like the Sunday in the US, and there is like no break time because it's literally the next night they're back into Raw. So we're going to do things a little bit differently for this episode. Normally I'm the one that steers the ship, and I'm the one that just doesn't stop talking for like an hour and a half. Instead, we're going to give Jem the shot here, and she's going to be the main speaker-er, and I'll come in and just make some shit up as I go on.
Let's see how this goes. Well, yeah, like you said, they go straight out of the Royal Rumble next night, straight into Raw. Obviously, being that Royal Rumble was held at Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona, Raw was also held at Chase Field, not Chase Field, just in Phoenix.
Yeah, so it was actually, there's a nice little intersection in Phoenix where there's like the stadium, convention center, and some other building, and I think they just used all three of those
just jump
buildings.
between three of them.
Just cross the road, and everyone scuttles across the road and does it all there.
Perfect. Did notice a lot of the same familiar faces in the front of the crowd.
Yeah, a lot of the same signs. You saw the Good Day from Australia one in there again.
Yep, the man ones all over the place.
I think they must have a printout of those little man ones. Because they're like, here's the man, here's the man, here's the man.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's very cool.
But yeah, so obviously we started with Seth Rollins opening with a burn it down.
I love that intro.
It's so good. It's definitely growing on me. But yeah, so Seth comes out and he starts talking about obviously his Royal Rumble win, explaining that he's going to obviously take his time making the decision because he wants to make the right one. And gives a little spiel about how, like, I didn't want to do this because it's cheesy and I don't want to be that guy, but I can't not do it. And he did the whole point to the Wrestlemania sign thing.
No, it was great. So he came out and before he did do the point though, he talked about how hard it was from from where he was to where he is now and the journey that it's taken and some of the roadblocks and the things that have gotten in the way. Yeah. And it was really cool for him to then finish on, this is something that I've always wanted to do. There it is. And points at it, and it felt good. It was.
Yep, everybody started chanting, "You deserve it."
I'm like, I felt all the emotion in that delivery. I'm like, fuck yeah. And they're like, you do. I'm like, yeah, you do deserve it, man. You totally deserve it.
That crowd was so loud.
It was so loud. Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah, I was all about it. But yeah, as he goes on speaking about how he's going to take his time with his decision, Triple H's music hits.
It's interesting. Before we jump into old trips, but it's very interesting that he's like, I'm going to ponder over those two choices.
Yeah.
Like, I understand with Daniel, he doesn't have a history with Daniel Bryan that I'm really aware of, but like he has direct history with Brock. But no more than like a month and a half ago, he was up in his shit saying none of this part-time champ shit. Yeah. Like he's been here less frequently than something else. Yeah. Like it's implying that this is what it needs to be, and he wanted to be the champion. Yeah. He wanted to be the real Raw champion. Yeah, so it's very weird that he kind of, but that would be an entirely emotional fueled decision.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's a concern. Yeah, and just after seeing Finn Balor get his fucking ass whooped.
Yeah, like you'd want to ponder it. Hey?
Yeah, you'd be like, do I want to do that?
Yeah, do I really want to have my ass handed to me like that?
Or get beaten while you get the win.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you never know. Yeah, either way, you're going to get your ass handed to you. Whether you win or lose, you're going to get beat. But yeah, definitely... it was very interesting. I agree that he was pondering it. It would have been a bit of a clean-cut decision for me because of that. history.
I assumed he had it in the back. I
Yeah.
thought he was going to walk out and be like, get ready to eat dick Brock Lesnar because I'm here.
Yeah.
And he wasn't. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's fair enough.
But yeah, obviously he decides to ponder a bit, and Triple H's music hits, and he comes out, and from what I understand, Seth is a bit of a protege, I guess, of Triple H's.
Well, it does seem to be that sort of like that talk he had a couple of weeks ago was that nice kind of you know like I fucking believe in you. You can do so much better, and it was that enough to burn, pun intended, the fire under Seth Rollins. So to then have Triple H come out and sort of have that conversation of I believed in you and you did it.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
You deserve to point at your son. I'm glad that you did that. Like he was getting super emotional. They were both getting quite teary, and I was welling up. Like, guys, don't cry. I will cry. It was a super emotional moment, obviously. Like, but Triple H did state, like, hey, like, you can't take your time, mate. You've got till the end of the show. Yeah,
I like that because it's all the idea of, look, we want you to make sure you have the right choice and you're comfortable with your decision, but you know this is the machine. The machine has to keep on rolling. Yeah,
exactly.
So, they've got to make, they've got to get, sort of like marketing ready, promotional ready, because like whoever he decides, that's the main event. Like it needs posters, it needs like big F-off banners that hang outside of buildings, and they need to make ads, like...
And it's only a couple of months away, isn't it?
2 months
2 months away, exactly. So that's not much time in the promo world. Like, so they need to get on it ASAP. Very, definitely. Very quick.
But of course, we can't have Seth Rollins in a ring without someone showing up.
Dean Ambrose, of course. I mean, as if it's not going to happen. So obviously, where am I? Yeah. Sorry, I'm a bit
That's all right. So look, I can run with you. So Dean Ambrose comes out and he's doing this whole like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
Like, what is this shit? There was a time that Triple H didn't believe in you.
Yeah,
there was a
I
time
was always there.
There was a time that Triple H didn't give a shit about you, and out of nowhere he suddenly cares and you're kissing his ass.
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah,
like,
why are you
I have been there with you through thick, through thin, through like we were the biggest brothers you've ever seen with the Shield. Like we were those guys. I've been with you. I came up with you from NXT. This is not you. You've changed.
Yeah.
And it was this great sort of this spiel of like, you've changed, man. You can all this sort of like you're not who you say you were.
Yeah.
And to credit Triple H, he's like, what? So you're trying to like say. He essentially got up in his shit about this whole Roman Reigns thing. Yeah. About the night, the turn, and didn't have nothing to come back to that.
Yeah, definitely. But Dean essentially says like, nut up or shut up. Like, I want to fight now.
That's the thing, because the whole idea is that we have done everything together. You've seen everything together.
But the only thing you haven't done is beat me.
You are yet to beat me properly.
Yeah. Yep. So he's like, why don't you do it? Why don't you do it? Make the match. To which Triple H starts to walk away. And Dean's like, what? You got to go ask your father-in-law first?
Yes, he does. yes, he does.
Yes, he does. So Triple H is just like,
but I love that because Triple H is like halfway out the ring and he's like, and then gets spins back and he's like, get me a referee.
I love it.
Well, the crowd's like, woo!
Yeah. Gotta give the people what they want.
That's it. And then, of course, a referee comes running in. There's a big beatdown starts happening between.
It was a brutal beatdown.
It was there was a lot of fucking raw emotion in this match. Like, this comes down to all the things, like things we're going to get to with Dean as well. There is some news from the dirt sheets, from old Dirt Sheet Dash, that sort of potentially could be leading into these actions.
Yeah.
And of course, Seth, hasn't to prove a point now. He's like, because he has to prove that he's not that kiss ass that Dean claims him to be, and that he's deserving of this title thing. Because imagine that,
and that he can beat Dean. He's gonna prove it.
Well, exactly. Imagine just coming off the Rumble, you've got your win, but then you rock up tomorrow on the on Raw, and you get handed to you by Dean.
Yeah, exactly.
It could be by anyone really. It's like kind of negates your awesomeness of being in the Rumble.
Exactly. Yeah. You've definitely, especially on a night after, say, a Rumble that you've just won. There's definitely that, there's that heightened, you have to perform still.
Yeah.
I know it's the next night, but you're on a high. Like, you can't just drop it straight away.
And credit to Seth, it was a clean win.
Yeah,
it was a straight up,
clean win.
beautiful win. Like, it was exactly what needed to be done.
Yeah, exactly. Considering they were both in, casual slacks. That was pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. But, super clean win. But, obviously, Dean, chucked a feisty fit.
Understandably,
yeah, he was kicking it. He was throwing a tantrum like a 2-year-old. Like,
so there was, and then so as Seth sort of left out, and we went to an ad break, and we come back to see Dean sitting in a chair right in the middle of the ring, and look like about to deliver some sort of like CM Punk shoot.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Look, I'm about to," he starts
about to
talking.
soul,
crowds booing at him. Crowds booing at him, getting all up in his shit, and he's like, "Look, I'm about to pour my soul out to you guys. Don't." And then we hear Nia Jax's music. But before we jump into that, I do want to jump over to the Dirt Sheet Dash, because I believe this moment in particular does fit with something that we are hearing in the internet whispers, and that is that Dean Ambrose is leaving the WWE. Now, later it was confirmed that this is in fact true, that Dean will no longer be continuing with WWE. So we'll finish what we've got here. So after many rumors over the past week, WWE have now confirmed that Dean Ambrose is leaving the WWE. WWE.com released a statement, quote, Ambrose will not be renewing his contract with WWE when it expires in April. We are grateful and appreciative of all that Dean has given to WWE and our fans. We wish him well and hope that one day Dean will return to WWE. Now, of course, there is wild speculations that Ambrose will be heading to the new promotion that is coming up, the AEW, the All Elite Wrestling, to reboot his career, to sort of have a new spin away from Seth Rollins, because he and Seth have been sort of held together for a long time. Like, there were times where Dean sort of separated and got himself the heavyweight championship and whatnot, but like they have been very close to each other. And of course, we do wonder, with this change of company, will we see a change in Dean Ambrose of who he is? Maybe even might want to sort of give himself a new name, like a new fresh start, like see what he wants to do. Yeah,
I love that there's been a hashtag going around about AEW, and it's been like Ambrose Elite Wrestling.
Yeah,
I love that. That's a bit fun.
So we haven't really touched on AEW a whole lot in this show as of yet. So All Elite Wrestling is a new promotion, a new company coming out of Jacksonville, in the US. Florida. It is being sort of helmed by Cody Rhodes, previously of Stardust, and of WWE, and New Japan.
Son of Dusty Rhodes.
Son of Dusty Rhodes. It also being run up by the two Young Bucks, which are the excellent tag team. They have just recently signed Jericho, which we'll get. There's some cool stuff coming out of that later on. We'll mention at the end of the show. So they've got Jericho, they've got Hangman Page. There's a bunch of quality dudes in there and ladies, and it's understandable that people may be seeing something better over at AEW, and they may want to head on out depending on how they're being handled. And someone like Dean, who has kind of it's almost this weird sort of left behind, right?
Yeah.
So as Seth has sort of really begun kicking things up and moving upwards into this sort of, with all this now WrestleMania main event, Dean has sort of been floundering in the mid card. Like, he's just not finding the right place to get the right step up. And I assume, and you can very clearly see that having Roman leave because of his condition has had an effect on both of them. Yeah, exactly. But it seems to have fueled Seth in a good way, where it's fueled Dean in a bad way. And I think maybe stepping away from WWE might give him that chance to sort of
opportunity to do what Seth is doing now.
Yeah, even center himself and sort of, even if he takes some time away, and then if he does happen to go to AEW or return, it's like,
it can be a complete rebranding.
It could. He could come back and just sort of be renewed, reinvigorated, and good to go. It does make me wonder though whether Renee Young, as we all know, that is the partner of Dean Ambrose, like will
she stay or
will she go with him? Like, as in, like, she's in such a good place right now. I don't think she should leave. But that is up in the air of what they're going to do, because if he does happen to take time off or go to AEW, Renee's gallivanting around the country. So it was, while they were both at Raw, even though Dean himself is a very isolated man, and she goes on about saying that, they do spend a bit of time together while they're on the road. So, it's interesting up in the air thing for them right now.
Exactly. Yeah.
But Nia Jax comes in.
Nia Jax. Yep. So Nia Jax and Tamina enter. While Dean is trying to sort of bare his soul. That was their allotted spot, so they're just doing what they're supposed to be doing. Yeah, so they're doing what they're supposed
to. Dean was trying to mooch into their time.
Yes, exactly it. So they come out, get in the ring. Nia gets a bit face to face with Dean. Looks like they're about to brawl. Referees are like trying to hold them back. The minute Dean turns his back, Nia just throws him out the ring.
So like this is sort of adding on to what we saw at the men's rumble where Nia Jax came in and caused some shit. Like, I'm, as someone that was a week ago, fuck Nia Jax, piece of shit.
Yeah, I was the same.
I'm not sold on her, but I'm like, I want to see what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because
it feels to me like they're pushing from what I read, there's been a lot of backlash about the mixed match challenges and how there was no intergender wrestling.
Yeah.
And it seems like because of that backlash, obviously the WWE are taking that advice and they're using Nia as that platform to push it. Maybe
it's one of those things, like as in they've sort of walked up to her and gone, look.
Do you want to fight the boys?
You know, there is interest by the universe about these mixed gender matches. Would you be the one that's willing to give it a go?
Yeah.
Because the thing about Nia Jax compared to all the other women, she is big, she's brute, she's bigger than most of the men.
Yeah.
So for her to then come in...
Well, we saw in the Rumble the ability she has against the men.
Yeah, she just flings Mustafa Ali out of the ring.
Exactly it. So she's definitely capable of fighting the guys.
And I think this is something that she needs as well. Like coming off the back of, you know, being the face breaker and everyone sort of had this big despise towards her, myself included, I would understand her motivations to want to be like, no, I am going to do something here. So she was the winner of the first Battle Royal at the Evolution pay-per-view. She has been a Raw Women's Champion as well. She does have a legacy and a history that of kind of being lost around sort of becoming this connection to Becky. And by connecting to Becky, she's really slipping down and becoming unpopular. Like she does have literal Hall of Fame blood in her by being the cousin of The Rock. So we know that genetically at least she should be an exceptional wrestler. And that's why it hurts me so much that she's not doing what she could be doing. Like
exactly it.
So having her be that one to step up and push that boundary and become the first woman ever to eliminate a man in the men's Royal Rumble as a woman. Yeah. I'm massively intrigued to see where she goes here. Yeah, definitely. I'm really interested to see it as well. I think that could be I think it could be amazing. Obviously, the women's division is progressing more and more and becoming bigger and better, and I think it's just another positive step forward for them. But anyway, they're out because they have a Elimination Chamber qualifying match for the Elimination Tag Team titles. For the women's tag team titles at Elimination Chamber. Spot on. Yeah. So they were up against Alexa Bliss and Mickie James. Interesting combination. Yep, I thought the same thing. I know they're obviously friendly, but I didn't ever think I'd see them in a tag team. Me either. Together. I did have a bit of a laugh though. Mickie James, they had a little promo video going on. Mickie James is talking about, Nia Jax is like putting lipstick on a pig, as my mum used to say. Brutal. Yeah, that was a bit harsh. I was like, damn, Mickie. But yeah, so that was I was really impressed with that match, mainly on the Alexa Bliss and Mickie James side. Mainly Alexa Bliss. Obviously, she's only just come back at the Royal Rumble to wrestling. So her first night back in how long? 4 months. 4 months was the... Feels longer than that, but it's been 4 months, was the prior night. So to watch her in the ring and the athleticism of her, she was doing flips and handstands and cartwheels and you name it, she was doing it. I was really, really impressed with that. And it's almost like that moment she got the clear. She's like, yep, and then push. Yeah, exactly. She was like, I gotta go jump off things. But yeah, I was really impressed with their side of things. Obviously, we know that Nia and Tamina are just powerhouses. And I think that's the downfall of this match. So for those that don't have spoilers, the winner of the match was Tamina and Nia Jax now moving to the Elimination Chamber match. So I think this comes from a different place. This shows the power of Tamina and Nia as a team. Yes. Like they have been collected together for as long as I've been watching, so it's the better part of 6 months at this point. So like they have a history, there's something there, and they obviously do have that sisterhood connection. They're both sharing the share of the bloods as well. So like it's understandable that they work together. Like tags were great. So well, they were getting the teamwork was on point. Yeah. Now Alexa, as you said, Alexa and Mickie have been friends in the past, so it's understandable that they would at least know each other, how each other works. But there was a clear deficit there. There was a gap between the two teams. Now, ideally, I would have loved to seen Bliss and Mickie get through. However, I cannot fault their teamwork and their drive to get that win.
Yeah, exactly it. And I think as well, like the two different styles from Nikki and Alexa make it a bit difficult as well. I find if you've got two tag partners that wrestle in a similar way, there's just that better connection. If they're two different styles, it sort of creates that sort of division. It did feel like Mickie and Alexa were just a bit slapped together. However, I absolutely loved the double Samoan drop to finish the match.
So Alexa was up on the top turnbuckle in the corner. Nia had Mickie James ready for a drop. Alexa goes to jump off and goes, maybe not.
Like,
so Nia's like, what? That second hesitation gave Nia a minute to then just scoop up Alexa, get her on top as well, give her the budouge, bring her back, get the 1, 2, 3. Nia gets the win.
Amazing. Beautiful. I absolutely love that. Phenomenal. And that's what I love about the power of Nia Jax. As much as you're like, oh, she's, I don't like this woman. Yeah. Like, she does have some power.
It's one of those things, like,
so cool.
Every time they give her a mic, it hurts me. And it's not solid. But it's kind of in the same thing as, like, Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley's. Yeah. Like, when they're not talking, they're kicking butt. And then you're like, all right, just don't talk and you're fine.
Yeah, exactly it.
Just come in there and
I have a feeling, though, that if Tamina does say something, that she's gonna be the next like Paul Heyman or Lio Rush. Like, I reckon
Tamina said jack shit. As long as I've watched on jack shit.
I reckon she's gonna be a total mouthpiece. I'd love to see that happen. Anyway, obviously they win. And next we get this really awkward promo from Kurt Angle.
Yeah, so it's almost like a sports interview, I guess, because we are watching sports.
Yeah,
here.
exactly.
There's this interview of like, a couple months ago, Drew McIntyre kicked the living piss out of you. What's going on? And he's this idea of like, look, I've done a lot of soul searching since then. It's only been like a month, but Drew McIntyre beat the piss out of him.
Hard. Shit.
Like it like humiliated him.
Oh yeah.
He actually made him tap by his own ankle lock.
Oh yes.
It was brutal.
Yeah, that's full
very,
on.
Very brutal. Yeah. But what was the interesting angle as well? Because he was like, I'm gonna come out, I'm gonna take on Baron Corbin. Because these both previous GMs, of course. So Kurt Angle began.
Oh, because Corbin bested and got like he complained or something and got Kurt's job.
Yes, early 2018, Kurt Angle was the GM at the time.
Phenomenal.
Baron Corbin went up to Stephanie McMahon, had a big old bitch and whinge. She's like, fine, you do it better. So he became the acting general manager, and he never got the role officially, but he was acting from then until he was then ousted at TLC.
Yes.
So there is previous animosity there as well.
Yeah.
One of the other things that was very interesting about we were hearing about Kurt Angle was that since he hasn't had the GM gig, he even though he was a retired wrestler and sort of would come out for cool spots.
Yeah.
Like this is more of he has to fend for his family now. Like he's back in the ring to make the coin, which is kind of sad for who is a genuine Hall of Famer.
And you could tell that he was really emotional in that as well. Like he's really hurt. But obviously we have that promo which leads into their match.
Yeah, so Baron Corbin, as I said, Baron Corbin versus Kurt Angle. Pretty solid, pretty quick match, about 3 minutes.
3 minutes, yeah.
Something like that. Ends with an end of days and just wrecks Kurt Angle, gets the win. Yeah. And it was weird.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting spot.
Quick matches always bum me out because it's just I don't like the idea.
You start getting into it and then you're like, oh.
I'm not even that. It's more of like I don't like the idea of someone getting stomped, especially when you see that someone has such an investment in this match and it means a lot to them to then have them get squashed. It's just not fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's not fun to watch. It's not fun for them too. Actually.
I think what I got into most, honestly, was the commentary. Like the commentary team were arguing like cats and dogs. They were full into it. Obviously, Corey Graves defending his buddy best mate, old pal Baron Corbin, whereas Renee and Michael Cole were like, "Are you kidding me? Like this guy literally ruined Kurt Angle's life. Like, why are you defending him just because you're bum buddies? Like, you're bros? Like." Yeah, so I found that really interesting. That was a lot of fun to listen to. Who knew commentary could get so heated? I love it.
That was good. It showed a lot of investment and that's the typical part of these guys as the commentators. They are
invested. They're not just talking.
Yeah, they are invested. You spend a lot of time with them as well because when they're not doing shows, I'm sure they're mingling and there's even if it's not like even if it's workplace friendly and they just see each other as they walk around. Well, they do say that
they do like backstage personal interviews and they'll be like, I was talking to so and so backstage and they were saying that yada yada yada. Yeah, so they do get around. They do know everybody everybody on a personal level, like to the point where obviously Renee and Dina are married. Like, so it's definitely interesting to hear things from their perspectives as well, because they are so emotionally invested in it too. So that's why I love when they get so heated like that.
And that's the thing, like they know another side that like the others don't. Like Michael Cole keeps very much down the line. He's very much about doing the play-by-play, and he's great that way for keeping it as it's going.
Yeah,
and then,
he's the mediator. He's the
very
balance.
good.
But yeah, so after that we have a little backstage card of poor Finn Balor limping through backstage.
Dude, he did not look good.
Yeah.
What was amazing though is as he's wandering through, everyone
shaking
everyone stopped and taking hand like, man, you took on the beast. You gave it a red hot go.
Yeah,
and
job, pal.
It was awesome. And my favorite was when we saw Otis, who I'm really warming up to the heavy machinery guys. He's like, Finn! I'm like,
I loved it.
This man.
Oh, I love it. Otis Dozovich.
Yeah, Otis Dozovich.
Love it.
Right.
Yeah, so next Finn Balor comes out and he starts having a chat.
But like this, it really showed how much of a beatdown he received at the hands of Brock. He was in pain. Like as we're used to seeing, when the music hits, we get that dun dun, and his hands are in the air and the crowd goes bonkers.
Couldn't do it.
He couldn't do it. Just couldn't lift his arms up.
Grabbed his back and was limping down the ramp.
Yeah. So thank you to the crowd though for still doing it for him.
Yeah,
it was good.
Phenomenal.
Still good to see.
They were all about it. Yeah, he was in a lot of pain, poor guy.
Yeah, so he walked out and he sort of was talking about this idea that although I may not have won, there was something here.
Yeah,
like I did something. Believe. I made Brock believe in me as a threat, me as a competitor, me as an athlete.
That's why he attacked me after the match.
Exactly, and because
I think it was a total of 7.
Yeah,
suplexes?
6 or 7 suplexes, and there was a couple of 5s in there as well. Like he got railed, man. Like railed.
Hurt. But yeah, so obviously he starts talking about that, and he gets interrupted by Lio Rush and Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, so like they come out, Lio Rush doing what he does, being an obnoxious little prick, and he'll spend the idea. He thinks it's absolute bullshit that Finn Balor, from pretty much out of nowhere, gets to have a shot at the Universal Championship, when it should be the likes of the Intercontinental Champ, Bobby Lashley. Now, I understand, like, there is some valid reason there. He did kind of get plucked out of nowhere, but at the same time, he is the first Universal Champion. Like, there is a history, there's a legacy here, and he was forced to give up the title, and he fucking proved himself in that Fatal 4-Way.
Exactly.
I didn't see Bobby at that Fatal 4-Way, did you?
No,
they have no grounds here.
Exactly
no grounds.
And why is he complaining? Bobby's holding a title, isn't he?
That's it.
So yeah, shut up. Anyway, I think he said something along the lines of like calling Finn like a wimp or something.
A twerp.
A twerp. That's it. I was like, wow. Like, what are you?
That's
12?
rich, right? Yeah.
Says this scrawny little guy that like runs around and hides from everyone. But yeah, I thought that was a little bit rich as well. But yeah, obviously, Yeah, so as Finn goes on about how like he's like, you know, I lasted longer with the Beast than you did in the Royal Rumble, and then
which he did, because it's like Seth Rollins literally just wanged him out in like
straight out
in almost record time.
Yeah,
but it was great. So this obviously pushed Bobby Lashley in the right way. He whipped that belt off and he went fang it straight into the ring.
Yeah,
picked up and then proceeded to pretty much choke slam, if not just pelt Finn into the ground just multiple times. What a bullshit setup. Mostly because like this guy can barely walk into a ring, let alone defend himself. Yeah, it shows
how weak Bobby Lashley truly is.
All I want to see now is Finn Balor repair himself, come back, and fucking take Lashley's belt.
Right?
That would be the biggest kick in his dick.
Like, you coward. Like, look what I can do. Like I don't have to beat up a beaten man. Yeah. So like, I'm bigger than that. I'm huger than that. I want to take that belt from you. I want to see it. Fuck you, Finn Balor. Woo! He's proven that he can take on beastly men. So, you know.
He's had bigger titles.
If he can take on the Beast, he can take on the Almighty.
Yeah, the Almighty Bobby Lashley. He's got nothing.
Nah. Look, I'll give him credit. I'm still stoked that it's 11 years he got a title. Like, I knew Bobby Lashley, but you're still a bit of a
I was stoked for him for like 5 minutes, and then he was a cock about it, and then it got taken away.
But yeah, so next leads us into a tag match.
I remember the tag match. Yeah,
tag match. It was the Revival versus Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, which was exciting to see. I was so stoked after, what was it?
Following up from last week's match, where it was the Revival against Bobby Roode Gable again.
Yes.
With Cord Hawkins as the referee, being that special guest ref to sort of be that down the line.
Yeah.
And he got jacked at the end. Zack Ryder came out.
Ryder came out.
So I understand why they're here. They're here to sort of make up for that beatdown from last week.
Yeah.
It was match.
Another super quick match. I was super impressed with the way that obviously they have a lot of history. So Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins were phenomenal together. Like they just work really well as a team. They're really fast. They're really on top of it. I really enjoyed that match, and I did wish it went for a bit longer.
I wish it went for a bit longer, and I wish they got the win. So Hawkins, as is common knowledge, with his 250 something losses consistently. I was hoping that with the power with him and Zack Ryder, like this would get him over the line.
But what I thought was really sweet was like obviously Kurt was beating himself up because he was the one that got pinned. But you know, Zack Ryder's like, it's okay, dude, don't sweat it. This happens. Like he was super supportive of him, and I thought that was really, really sweet. You know, but yeah. It was a bit of a lackluster.
It's a
match.
down. It's one of the down notes of this. Like solid episode of Raw, but that was a bit of a down note there for me. I don't know what it is. Like I understand that the revival they are truly trying to prove something at this point, like just sort of being about proper hardcore wrestle, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I understand they have been slighted over the last couple of weeks with the dodgy referees and whatnot, but that doesn't give them the entitlement to then punch on with that wrestler and then fight him again the next week. Like,
exactly.
I really question that. I think it's kind of bullshit, and I of course understand it's very weird for Dawson as an example to be randomly thrown into a match with Razor. I did get wrong. I called him Acom last week's episode. We made a couple of mistakes last week.
We were done.
Yeah, man. Like after 7 hours of Rumble.
Exactly.
It's
We were done.
Brutal. We'll address them right now.
Yeah.
It's Buddy Murphy on the Cruiserweight Championship, not Buddy Watson. Buddy Watson is a friend of ours. And we did get given the full list of the Horsewomen women as well, but we'll get to that later. So I think it's a little bit poo. Yeah. The match was fine.
Yeah.
Nothing to write home about.
So after that, it cuts to an interview with Daniel Bryan with a beautiful shiny black eye on his face.
Yeah, so Triple H did mention that both Brock and Daniel Bryan will be in the room, in the ring in order for Seth to make his decision.
Yes. So there's a little interview backstage with Daniel Bryan and his new friend, Mr. Rowan. He talks about the possibility of facing Seth and says that, you know, he'll end all his hopes at Mania if that's the case. And what was fantastic was, like, you know, Seth likes to burn things down, which is a horrible decision because he's going to wreck the ozone layer. Stuff. He starts talking about air pollution and stuff like that, which is, you know, he's the planet's champion. Man, Daniel's such a mixed bag because he's doing good, but he's being a dick about it. But I'm like, you make really good points. Yeah, you're making great points, but you're being a dick. You're valid. You're valid as hell. Yeah. But after that, we walk with Elias. Yeah, so kick in, Elias sitting in the ring as he does, getting ready to play some tunes, talking about how he gave the universe options. He gave the universe this power. He gave them everything, and they refused to accept it. Therefore, he will no longer be performing for the WWE universe. He'll only perform for himself. He'll only perform for himself. What I found funny was, like, at one point the crowd were chanting, I think they were chanting, "We will walk with Elias," but it was like to the tune of Seven Nation Army. So, like, walk with Elias. That was pretty funny. I loved that. The crowd was on point. Phoenix, they were so great. You were exceptional. Oh, they were so good. I was so conflicted because obviously he was saying such shitty things to them, but they were like, it was like they loved him. Yeah. Like they were loving the whole thing of it. But yeah, as he goes to sing his little song, Double J's music hits. Jeff Jarrett. So, Rocky Up and Rumble just wasn't a once-off thing. No, he's still hanging about. He's still hanging about, which was awesome. And obviously he does his, I think one of my favorite lines was he says, "Listen up, slap nuts," which was my favorite thing ever. Listen up, slap nuts. Slap nuts. Like, is that an insult? Is that an expression of his? Because I haven't heard that before. I don't know. It made me laugh very hard. Yeah, I was super. Yeah, Is it Canadian? Know. It sounds like a Canadian thing. Yeah, but he comes out. He does mention. Obviously, talks about. I'm having a blank.
You're having a real hard blank.
Yeah, I've all I remember is Road Dogg.
Yeah. Skip that part. Road Dogg comes out.
Road Dogg comes out. Yeah, so Road Dogg comes out wearing the man shirt.
Of course.
So that was awesome. He comes out and obviously starts digging into Elias as well, and he's like, mate, if you want to play with yourself, do it on your own time.
Yeah. So you have to respect the universe. The universe is what we do it for.
Exactly.
These are the people that we're here. So for that reason, I'm gonna sing you all the song instead.
Yeah, exactly it. So yeah. And then he pulls a DX quote and he's like, if you're not down with that, I got 2 words for you.
Suck it. Beautiful.
And then he has to like try and hush the crowd because they start chanting, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, it's like, hey, we can't do it. I love these. We can't do it. It's a family show. We can't do it in the crowd.
Yeah,
and then the whole crowd is like,
so
that's my
louder.
fault. I probably shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, exactly it.
But this was great. So as they've started singing this song, they get the commentators involved. Renee don't know all the words, which is fine.
Yeah.
But
They're
as
running around the ring,
as they make their way down to the ring, they're singing around as well. Elias has had enough of this shit, and then proceeds to fucking wail both of them with guitars.
Which entertaining as shit, but you know, guitars aren't cheap, man. Like,
it's
you're going through them at the moment, like far out. But yeah, so he wails on them
where's Daniel's issue with that? There's a lot of wood there, unnecessarily broken.
Yeah, exactly it. But then that's just the end of that. They just get the shit beat out of them.
They get wailed on, and everyone kind of scuttles them out.
Yeah, exactly it. So after that, there's a little backstage scene with Natalya and Dana Brooks. We find out that they're obviously a tag team competing for the qualifier for the Elimination Chamber as well.
Yeah, we come to learn that Ember Moon was originally meant to be
pick.
Yeah, what she was injured. She apparently whacked up her elbow during the Rumble.
Surgery, apparently.
Yeah, sorry. Like she took a gnarly hit to the apron on her elimination, and I think that may have been the moment. Like it's brutal.
But yeah, Dana proceeds to say, like, I know I wasn't your first pick, but I'm as good, if not better than Ember Moon. I'm better than you, which obviously rubs Natalya the wrong way. And she's like, but let's go, teammate. Let's go. So yeah, that.
So they make the way to the ring.
Yeah.
We discover that they're taking on the Riot Squad, but Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan specifically. It's very, very cool. I do like Sarah Logan a lot. I think she's great. I want to see more of her. So I was very happy to see her get the slot with the Riot Squad. So it does make me wonder.
Yeah.
Does make me wonder when we do come to the Elimination Chamber, does that mean that Sarah and Liv will be in there? Can Ruby swap in and out? Like, is it the 3 of them as a team, or is it 2 of them?
I'm interested to see how that'll work, for sure. But yeah, so obviously being the Riot Squad, Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan work together beautifully.
Yeah, it's almost a mirror of the match we saw before.
Yeah, with Tamina and Nia.
Since the Riot Squad debuted, the 3 of them have never been apart. They know each other's weaknesses. They know each other's strengths. They know how to be that exceptional team together.
Exactly
and with Natalya and Dana, by the sounds of it, coming in at the last minute together, there was no coherent communication.
And obviously Dana spilled some shitty words. So Natty's pissed.
Yeah, so
there's a bit of hostility between them now.
Yeah, and there's no desire to work together as a team. Like I understand that professionally you should do the best you can to make sure you both come out cleanly, but there was something there, and what cost them the
ultimate demise. Yeah, so it was a pretty quick match again. I believe Liv Morgan got the cover on Natalya.
I believe so.
Yeah. And after I think Dana Brooks was kicked into her or something like that, there was some kerfuffle where Natalya and Dana Brooks got banged up together. And as they're leaving, obviously Dana's like, I'm sorry. Natalya's like, don't fucking talk to me, and storms out.
It's very interesting because as we look into, so with the Elimination Chamber, it is three teams of women from Raw, 3 from SmackDown. So we now have 2 from Raw. That leaves the 1 final team, which I can only assume will probably be the Boss Hog Connection.
Well, that's that. They did promo, like they did have a little promo thing saying next week it would be Sasha Banks and Bayley versus I can't remember now, but there is a qualifying match on next week.
Yeah, and it has
so they have announced who it is, but I can't remember for the life of me who.
Like I say, it has to be only because once again, it's that same idea. This coherent team. These women are best friends. They know what's up. They know, exactly, and coming off the loss of with Sasha, of both of them actually to Ronda, which we'll get to in a minute. There is a drive there, and I think they'll kick the piss out of whoever gets in the way.
Yeah, they are a very tight-knit group. Like, they know each other as well. They're very close. So I definitely think that they're pretty much a shoo-in. I reckon they'll definitely
and I think they're probably one of the highest chance to win.
Yeah, definitely.
And I can't wait.
So yeah, next is Ronda Rousey's Open Challenge. Now, this is something I didn't know that happens, but apparently after every main event that she wins, every pay-per-view, she does an Open Challenge.
Yeah, the big reason about this is because she talks about how if you want to be a champion, if you want to claim that you're a champion, you must be willing to defend the belt at all costs, no matter where it is. Like, even though I just got the shit kicked out of me, like she did with the hands of Charlotte in Survivor Series, she's like, I'm going to come back the next day and I'm going to defend my title. Yeah. And it was great. I was very curious on who was going to come out and be. Yeah. Turns out, as I spoiled about like 30 seconds ago, in comes Bayley to give her the shot.
But interesting thing is, before that all came about, was that Ronda's come out. She's trying to have a chat to the crowd, and she is met with a lot of hostility. Like, the crowd are just not having her, and it stumped her. Like, she got a bit confused, and she's like, holding the mic up, and she's like, and they're like screaming, and she lets go, and she's like, and they're like, So it was a bit interesting that they got her.
Because although we don't know at this point in time, we didn't know what was going to happen with WrestleMania. But with Becky winning the Rumble, with the history between Becky and Ronda from prior to Survivor Series, the whole crowd
were
just
chanting
wanted
Becky's name.
They wanted Becky.
They were chanting Becky's name before Ronda could even speak.
Like, they did not give her a moment to breathe.
And she even got to the point where she's like, all right, let's forget that and talk about what you all want to hear. Becky Lynch. Yeah. And the crowd went nuts. Yeah. And she's obviously trying to have a chat, and then Bayley comes to the rescue and just sort of jumps out, and she's like, wow, from what I hear, you like to issue open challenges. How about you and me go at it? I'm one half of the boss hug connection. Like, maybe I can beat you. Sasha didn't. Maybe I can.
Yeah. No, I love Bayley. I think Bayley's great.
Yeah, that was awesome.
When I did fall back into wrestling, she was one of the people I first sort of really caught attention to. I love the whole hug thing. I think that's awesome. It's such a nice positive sort of vibe, especially in the world. Everyone's like, I'm like, fucking hug it out. Plus, if you have wacky webbing fable arm too, Med.
Oh, I love it.
You're gonna win every time.
I want them for my entrances.
Yeah,
I don't have an entrance and I want one.
I want to get to work, just and then one turns up.
Yeah, exactly it.
Yeah, and like, if anything, I think she does stand I thought she would stand a chance, and I think it's another woman that certainly deserves it. She's got a long history, and she was a dominant force down in NXT. So I'm like, nah. Like, bring it. Bring it.
Yeah, so they obviously get into a scuffle there. Ronda's defending her title against Bayley. You could tell they were both exhausted. Yeah. They were struggling in their grapples. Like, it felt a bit like, you could tell they were tired. It felt a bit sloppy just because you could tell they were both wrecked. Obviously,
saying that though, like, Ronda managed to lock in an armbar over the ropes.
I know, that was insane. Considering, I'm pretty sure at the time, Bayley was targeting an injured part of her. I think it was a leg or something like that.
Yeah, so during the match with Sasha Banks, she did beat the piss out of Ronda's arm for a while. It was her right arm. Yeah. So, Bayley was smart and focused on that arm. And during the scuffle, she did also appear to injure her knee as well. Yep. And she was like, locked eyes, like laser heat targeting on her knee, and was like, he's going down. I'm gonna take Bayley did a quality job here.
She's phenomenal at that sort of stuff. You can tell she's very attentive to her surroundings while she's wrestling. Yeah.
But when push come to shove, though, it did end in a submission. It did end a tap out. Bayley gave the tap away, and
pretty quickly too. Like, she must have been hurting. Obviously.
So she comes out with the win. It's all looking really good. Next thing. Poof, I'm like, fuck Becky Lynch. Woo!
Everybody goes absolutely mad.
I go mad.
One of the things I did notice, though, like, I'd seen some hinting on the internet, but as Becky Lynch was walking to the ring, they've got the camera behind her down the ramp, and I noticed this. to Bayley.
For those that don't know, like, we spot the 4 fingers. Now, as we've seen this a couple of times now. We saw originally a couple of weeks ago with Sasha prior to Rumble. Yeah. We were under the impression that as she is the 4-time women's champ, this is her showing my power of who she is and what she's got. We've then come to learn that it's looking like it's the Horsewomen. Mm-hmm. As we now know, as we know, with the Horsewomen for WWE, at the time in NXT was Sasha, Bayley, Becky, and Charlotte. So even in this sort of cross-brand thing, as she walks over, flashes the 4, Bayley's nursing her arm, spots it, gives the 4 back, bit of sneaky 4 under the elbow. It's like,
yeah.
And it was awesome. I got fucking hyped when I saw it.
That was the first thing I saw, because I'd obviously seen on the rumor mill, and I was looking for Bayley to do it, and then I saw from behind Becky's hand go up, and I was like, yes!
This is really good. Now, as I said, I will jump in and finish a correction from last week.
Yep, so the 4 Horsewomen of MMA?
Yeah, the 4 Horsewomen of MMA.
You did say one of the names correctly.
I did. It was Ronda Rousey, and I said Sonya Deville, but it is in fact Shayna Baszler.
No, you said Shayna Baszler.
Did I?
Yeah, I remember, and then you weren't sure
about it. The 4
about
Horsewomen of MMA were Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler, Jessamine Duke, and Marina Shafir, who I have seen. They are sort of the crew around Shayna at NXT. When I saw her take on, was it Kairi Sane at War Games? Okay. Like, I did see them all there, and the second I read those names, I went, of course.
Yeah.
I had that complete brain fart moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like, it's very interesting to see this come up. Now, I do wonder whether Ronda is then going to reach that into NXT and grab these women and bring them up, because she's going to need them.
Yeah, exactly. It's looking like
if we can get to a point where these 4 women, because we know that obviously there's some respect there between Becky and the Boss Hugs, but right now she's having such a hard time with Charlotte, who we'll get to shortly.
Yeah.
I do wonder how they're going to bring this all together and make that 4 a cohesive unit.
Exactly it. Well, Becky comes out, just cuts to the chase. She says, basically, Ronnie, it's as simple as Pikachu, I choose you.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to sugarcoat it. Crowd goes absolutely bonkers.
This is what I wanted to see. I was freaking out.
Yeah. We all knew it was going to happen. It was inevitable. Becky's got her eye on the prize.
Is that dream booking I had like a month ago? It's all falling into place. I'm so happy.
Yeah. So, everybody just starts chanting, yes, like going nuts. So,
but what's great though, so like during this little antagonizing sort of spitting of words,
kick your ass,
Becky drops the whole, unlike you, I don't crumble when I lose. For those that don't know, when Ronda Rousey, she left UFC after getting her first loss, and her entire world crumbled. Like she had a really tough time getting over that loss. So this very clearly got the shits up Ronda, because it's a very touchy subject.
Yeah, she got angry.
And she got in her face.
She was
like, we're talking fucking inches away.
Oh, she was angry. She was so pissed.
I cannot wait to see what this becomes.
Yeah. Look, that's one thing I love about Ronda is she's so openly passionate, and when something rubs her the wrong way, she gets angry.
I can't wait till April, man. I need this resolved. I'm not going to burn out by that time. I'm going to get to a boiling point come like fucking mid-March. Yeah. I'm like, I still have like a month and a bit away. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
This is so cool.
Yeah. It's going to be phenomenal. I cannot wait to see it. Obviously, we have heard on the rumor mill that Ronda's possibly looking at pulling out of her contract early to start a family.
Well, not pulling out of contract, sort of taking some time away after Mania.
Yeah.
So it's this weird.
So it's weird. Like,
weird line. Maybe she's putting this as an insurance, so for any reason she does happen to take the loss, she can sort of ounce her way out.
Yeah.
But even if she takes that win, she's like, well, I'm going to go out on a high and I'm going to take a step away.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, I've raised my hand like I had a belt.
Yeah.
So either way, it's
go
like
out on
what
high.
what a rub that would be to Becky. Be like, I won in your face, and now I'm going away.
Yeah, I'm gone. See you later. I'll be back in a little while. Yeah, so I'm really interested to see how that all plays out. But yeah. So then backstage we see Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman walks up.
Yeah, so Braun Strowman's making his way out because he's about to have a match with Drew McIntyre, sort of going on this little bit of a beef they've had in the past.
Yeah.
As you see Seth Rollins, who just eliminated him from the second final. Like, if
Yeah.
It could have gone either way at that point. Seth Rollins
they
did
were the
eliminate.
last two in the ring.
Correct.
Yeah.
Seth did eliminate Braun, got the win, but it was this nice mutual handshake between the two.
Yeah.
Saying like, hey man, you earned it. You did killer on the weekend.
Make the
right choice.
Yeah.
Which I know that means go Brock.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't get him. You can get him.
Yeah,
you can do what I can't.
Yeah, exactly it. So yeah, obviously Braun Strowman versus Drew McIntyre next. I like to call it the Battle of the Beasts because it was a pretty big, burly Battle of the Beasts.
Yeah, battle of the Beef.
Yeah, exactly it. So yeah, that was some angry Braun Strowman. Like,
yeah, I love Braun Strowman so much.
He was chopping Drew McIntyre so hard, I was cringing. Like, I was just like, oh, I felt that one. It was so loud. But yeah, they were beating the absolute shit out of each other. But in true Baron Corbin fashion, Baron Corbin has to interrupt.
Of course, he runs in, starts delivering chairs and all this shit on Braun.
I love that, like, he goes to deliver a chair to Braun and Braun just punches it out of his hands. Like, fuck, that was great.
Like, I was really, like, and then he just grabs Baron by the face. Like, not by the neck, but by the fucking face. Yeah, he's like,
over his
come with me. And after
sort
of some successful hits on Baron, Claymore out of nowhere takes Braun right in the side of the face, brings him down, and we start to see the beginnings of the repeat that happened in November, where they shattered his elbow, and he had no choice but to leave. Yeah. We're seeing even the repetition of the stairs. Now, granted, the stairs themselves were brought into the beef by Braun. So Braun,
he started it. He wanted was about to hit somebody.
I
think Baron. He was gonna.
Yeah, he was gonna he's gonna stare Baron. Sort of comeuppance from what we saw late last year. But it did end with a double beatdown on the two of them. Then walk with Baron and Drew walking out, get the arms in the air.
I was wrong there. He went to hit Drew with the stairs and then Baron. That's where Baron intercepted.
Yeah. Okay. My bad.
Yeah, that was my bad as well. But yeah, so yeah, there was a double choke slam there by Drew and Baron.
Onto the stairs,
onto the stairs before they finally pushed off on their way out.
Yeah, I appreciate they didn't break on the limb.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great. Thank you very much.
But yeah, they obviously walked out with their arms up, and we cut to what's supposed to be Seth Rollins coming out to make his decision. And they're about to announce his name, and Brock Lesnar's music hits.
Yeah.
And Brock and the Advocate, Paul.
Oh, that's right. The announcers are like, please welcome again to the ring your 2019 Royal Rumble winner, Seth.
Yeah, and then, so Brock and Paul come to the ring. Obviously, Paul, the mouthpiece, is saying, like, you know, you don't want to challenge the Beast. It's the wrong decision. You should go for Daniel Bryan.
Because you have a higher chance of winning if you take on Daniel Bryan. You got shit when it comes to the Beast.
Yeah, exactly. You can have your little fun little fisticuffs, like
you can grapple, you can roll around.
Exactly.
But you can't take on the Beast.
So
Seth comes out. He's like gets all up in his shit.
Up in
and it's pretty much a discussion of like it was great.
Yeah. Phenomenal.
Then push comes to shove. Socks Brock in the side of the face. Gets the one up. He almost delivers the curb stomp. But as that's pushed a button in Brock. Brock turns out fucking F5s him like a handful of times.
It was 6, I believe. I counted.
Yeah, leaving him wrecked and ruined up against the ropes, and he's just battered, bruised. And then we hear,
all you got? Is that all you got, Brock?
So Brock turns back around, picks him up, fucking drops him again, and then we get the end of the show. So although
cuts to black
we don't get confirmation on who's taken on who, we can only assume that it is Brock Lesnar.
That was brutal.
Aside from the dip with the revival, that was an awesome episode of
props
Raw.
To Seth for
Loved
still being
all of
like, bottom rope, like, is that all the highlight of the night?
Oh man, it was so good.
So good.
It's actually like what he said. I loved the Rumble, and then this was a nice tie into all that.
Yeah, and it was definitely a good way to roll on with.
And this sort of crossing of brands as well. I'm sorry.
I love cross branding.
Give me more of that. Daniel Bryan rocking up, Becky rocking up.
Yeah. So good.
Let us know what you thought of Raw this week. Let us know in those comments below, or head over to the Facebook community group, facebook.com/group/popcultures. Oh, and of course Discord as well. There is a link in the description. We have a wrestling talks in there. We don't talk enough wrestling in there, so make it happen.
Talk more wrestling.
And that brings us to Tuesday's show, which again, last I checked, is still
Phoenix.
SmackDown Live.
In Phoenix, Arizona.
They went across the road again. I think.
Exactly it.
Or they just changed the ropes from red to blue and then left.
Yeah. So, opens with a really sick highlight reel about our man Becky Lynch.
She's been dope.
Oh, I loved it. And obviously, whoa. So yeah, she comes out talking about how her discussion with Ronda the night prior was a bit like she talks like, you know, she was main eventing while I was still coming from the startup shows. Like,
yeah, there's been sort of discussion around the idea of like, look, we are similar ages. However, when you were nothing, I was fucking something. And Becky comes out, it's like, you know, I'm proud. I'm proud that I came from nothing.
Yeah, she's like, unlike. You know, she's like, yeah, unlike you, like, I'm proud to have worked my way up and not been handed everything. Like, I deserve to be here.
See, I disagree with that. Ronda certainly hasn't been handled everything entirely.
In the WWE,
in the recent years, yes, she has, because she's become a very, very powerful name in the sports scene. So for her to then... to like make those calls, like there were at a time Ronda Rousey wasn't given shit. She punched her way, and Ronda said herself, she goes, everyone in this room knows I could beat the shit out of you right now. I could fucking kill you. Yeah, if I wanted to.
But yeah, Becky goes on to mention that she believes Ronda's doubtful that she can beat Becky. And yeah, then she gets interrupted by
old shoehorn Charlotte rocks up.
Charlotte, of course, comes in with this like super fake, like, no, I'm proud of you. You deserve this. Like, I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of you. I'm proud that you've taken what I made for you.
Yeah, so Charlotte sort of brings up this whole idea that, you know, that everything that Becky has done, the embodiment of the man has come from Charlotte by her
the
pushing.
Queen made the man.
Yeah, by her pushing her. Like, the man stems from the Queen, from Ric Flair, like it stems from the Flair family. So Charlotte isn't wrong here. Like, what she has done up until this point has helped her become her.
Yeah. Now, see, I'm going to be pulling at straws here, but there's something I noticed that made something trigger in my head that said maybe there is a possibility that Charlotte could still be part of the 4 Horsewomen. They came out with the exact same fucking hairstyle, that little plate on the side. I was like, matching hairstyles.
Like a horsewood?
No, it's just like
like
a little,
like
Irish like war like plait type thing. But they both had the exact same little plait in the exact same spot. And in my head, I was just like, is this maybe a sign? I'm probably pulling at straws here.
I like your age, because one thing they don't have in common is a fucking sore jaw. Exactly. during this chat about,
but I said this before.
That's correct. So during this little chat here, Charlotte's like getting up in her shit. Becky's like, no, I got none of this. Just fucking rocks her in the jaw,
just right in the
and
mouth.
Like drops her like to her knees.
Yeah.
It's like 1 second Charlotte.
Next
1 second,
floor.
just empty air where she used to be.
Yeah, and obviously that triggered Charlotte, and there ended up being a nasty little brawl. Mind you, both nights, Becky has been in a knee brace because she messed herself up in the Rumble.
Yeah, so Nia Jax did decimate her knee after she got eliminated, as Nia Jax does, because she's a bitch.
POS.
But have this sort of injured knee coming out, limping her way in. After socking Charlotte in the jaw, Charlotte needed about a minute and a half to fucking understand where she was again. You know, so it was really so.
You got knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, Becky's like halfway up the ramp. Next thing, Charlotte just like, nah, none of this. Runs out, fangs it, fucking tackles her, starts ripping in her face, dragging it down to the ring.
Becky just fights her way back out of it, though.
Even with a
bung leg, she's jumping officials to get at her. I was like, damn, Becky, you're the man.
Like this great moment, like there's always scuffle. Charlotte gets pushed around to the corner, and then you think Becky turns around and then clears away and runs, jumps, Superman that shit off the steps.
Oh, phenomenal! Yeah.
There has to be a triple threat match. Like Charlotte, as we know before, we have shown shit where Charlotte has managed to shoehorn her way into a ton of shit. So she will find a way. She will get into the main event with Becky and Ronda.
But yeah, before the brawl finishes, it cuts to backstage and we see Shinsuke playing with his shiny new title again.
Yeah, so after winning it in the kickoff show, he's like, ooh, look at the belt. I love the belt.
Which
that sounds more like Rusev.
Yeah, which leads us into, because R-Truth was obviously taken out by Nia Jax and he lost his spot at the Rumble, he didn't even get to enter. He was granted a title match against Shinsuke.
Yeah, it's very huge.
As compensation.
It's very kind of the McMahons to sort of come up and go, hey, you got shafted, man. We'll give you a one-up.
Yeah,
Here you go.
exactly.
Have a title shot against Shinsuke.
Yeah.
This also shows how fucking meaningful the US Championship. Is they're like, I don't know, do you want to have a go with that? Sorry, here you go.
Yeah,
Like,
it does feel a bit, obviously, especially having it in the kickoff show.
Yeah,
like,
because
it feels like it's a bit.
Think about it. Like,
left
there is no
behind.
way they'd be like, yeah, you got shafted. You want to go on the Universal Championship?
Yeah,
like, there's
exactly,
no power behind this belt. Saying that though, R-Truth is now our United States champion.
Right? So, again, it was a really quick match. Now, I don't know if it was a quick count or what, but after watching the replays,
It's so tight.
Yeah, I do, but like 100%, like Shinsuke's, by that third hit, his shoulders were still on the mat.
Yeah, so essentially what happened, there was a roll. So Shinsuke did have R-Truth ready to roll up. R-Truth does a little bit sneaky, gets him back around, gets him 1, 2, 3. And as that 3 hits, Shinsuke pops up. So does R-Truth. They're ready to keep going.
Yeah, R-Truth goes to throw a kick. Shinsuke ducks it.
But
and
the bell goes, and the ref's like, no. And then everyone's baffled. Everyone's baffled.
Everybody's like, what? What's going on here?
R-Truth has no idea what's going on. Carmella's there. She's freaking out, don't know what's going on. The ref gives him the belt, and then he's like,
oh, I've won.
oh!
Carmella's like, hey! Shinsuke's losing his mind. They played the replay of the pin a bunch of times, even in slow motion. And
it's
Shinsuke's
like literally on the tap.
Yep, as soon as that hand hit the floor, his shoulders were still there.
Yeah. And then
so
we're talking
a
like
thing.
0.3 of a second later. Like he
it
goes,
was a
bang,
very
there. Like it's almost like their hands and
it's
the at the same time.
Yeah, it's still very questionable in my opinion.
I disagree. I go with it. Also, fuck you, Shinsuke. 48 hours of the US champion, you can eat the dick.
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously that triggers Rusev to come out and be like, you know, this is a joke. Like, I am the US champ. Like, I deserve this. If you're not too tired, how about we have a match and you defend it right now?
I get his point. Rusev did get a little bit shafted from Shinsuke. So
he did.
I understand he does have that, you know, like that, be like, I got fucked. It'll give me my shot back.
Exactly.
And, you know, I think he's right. I think he did, you know, but the same thing, you lost it fair and square, man. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You know, you're gonna have to deal with it.
Exactly.
But you know, R-Truth gave him the go.
Yeah, they get up in each other's face. Carmella gets up in Lana's face because Lana's yelling and hollering.
Us hopping away.
Yeah, Carmella gives her a bit of a shove. R-Truth Rusev tries to get in Carmella's face. R-Truth gets in his face. Rusev gives him a shove. He's like, you know what? Here you go. Let's go.
Yeah, ding, bell, match starts. Very quick match as well. Rusev rolls Rusev up again.
Yeah, same roll up. 1, 2, 3,
boom.
bam, bam, bam. US champ.
Oh my god.
Loved it.
This is the first time.
R-Truth really surprised me. He was so quick like that.
Years it's been since he had a US a WWE belt.
Yeah, no, I love that because it looked like he was playing up the I don't know what to do, I'm hurt, I can't wrestle, and then next minute roll up, done. Like I was all about that.
Like before the match with Shinsuke, he did come out and saying I got wrecked at the Royal Rumble. You know, if who knows, if I got in that ring, I could have walked away as the Rumble champ. So hence enough, they'll give me this.
Yeah.
So I think he got the better outcome here. Because look, R-Truth,
definitely.
I genuinely love you, but there is no way that you would have got that win at the Rumble. You got the well better end of the stick. So although you took a beating, you did all right.
Yeah, exactly.
You came out much better than he could have.
But yeah, obviously a pissed off Nakamura decides to attack R-Truth. Rusev gets in on it. They double team up on the poor guy and just beat the living piss out of him.
Yeah, I guess the you know, it's that kind of like
animosity.
Yeah, two enemies working together for a collective enemy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's that weird sort of setup, but I don't understand why R-Truth is the enemy. They both lost fair and square. If anything, Shinsuke has the most ground, but what the hell are you doing, Rusev? Like, I don't mean to alarm you, but Shinsuke hurt your wife twice.
Yeah, exactly. Why would you?
Why would you team up with her?
Yeah, exactly.
Why would you do this?
But yeah. And then I believe I heard you both suck, Chance. I swear I heard that. But yeah, so after that, I'm pretty sure we had the Schmears celebration.
Yeah, it was the best tag team in the world celebration.
Yes.
With Shane and The Miz.
Yes.
They walk out there. The Miz is sort of hyping up. They're going to have this big celebration. Comes out there. Nothing. None of the big shenanigans he does earlier. He's like, this is, you know, we don't need all that stuff,
well, yeah,
man.
Shane was in
we
charge.
Are just
so,
the
yeah.
one. Yeah.
Shane obviously gives the whole, like, you know, you made me a highlight reel. Here's a highlight reel for you. And it's like,
There's a lot of Shane in that highlight reel.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. But he says, like, hey, mate, like, you know, I've got something that's bigger than any of the extravagant, like, you know, bigger than cakes and balloons and presents and all that sort of stuff. He's like, I made some calls and I'd like to introduce George Mizanin, the Miz's dad, and old mate Mizanin comes out, who was supposed to be on a flight home, I believe.
Yeah, and he's in the Miz and Mac shirt.
In the Miz and Mac shirt.
Which I did tweet at WWE Shop and Shane and Miz. I'm like, give me a chance to buy that effing shirt. I want it.
Yeah. 100%.
I'll give you all my Aussie dollar.
All about it. I'll take one too, thanks.
But the crowd's like, Mr. Miz. I am so impressed by Phoenix, man. They did such a good
phenomenal.
Job.
Every night on point.
Now, as myself, a father, and I have very strong connection with my father as well.
Yes.
So when he came out and he did that delivery and he's like, Mike,
I love you.
And
I'm proud.
I'm incredibly proud of you. I'm like,
beautiful.
Like I was welling up. I was almost there. Like I was feeling it.
The hug was so powerful.
Shane was feeling it. Miz hugs him, looks over Shane's like, thank you, man. You're fucking the best. Yeah. And then we hear Corey Graves be like, this guy's been a shit dad for 35 years. Why are we praising him now? Yeah. All my emotions of being sad were instantly wiped away. I instead cried with laughter. What an exceptional way to ruin a very heartfelt moment.
I love Corey Graves.
You
so good
champ.
Champion. Shout out to Corey Graves. You're attractive as shit
That was
too.
beautiful, as is you.
Absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, which they let us know that tonight they will be watching a four-way tag elimination.
Correct. So they let us know that so they'll let us know what we're doing here is like as similar to Ronda, as champions, we need to not just own these, we need to defend these, as you said.
Yeah.
So we are going to have a four-way elimination match and whoever wins takes us on at Elimination Chamber.
At Elimination Chamber, exactly.
So the four teams we saw, because it was straight after the break, right?
It cut straight into it, yeah. So it's the Usos.
Yeah, Usos.
The Bar.
Yep.
The New Day. And Heavy Machinery.
And our boys.
Love it.
Steak and weights, baby.
Yeah, I love it.
I love them. They're so good.
Yeah, Tucker Knight and Otis Dozovic. Love it. So before the match actually starts, there is a cut backstage to Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, and they're talking about how they're declaring themselves as competitors in the Elimination Chamber for the tag team
Which is very
titles.
interesting, seeing as Raw had to fight about it.
Yeah,
and Mandy's
like, just like, we're in.
And then everyone's like, yeah.
Yeah. So while they're at it, Mandy has something to say about her whole situation with Naomi. And apparently it comes back to Tough Enough when they had, I think it was Naomi, Sasha, and somebody else. Tamina, yeah. They were all there coaching the girls, teaching them to take bumps. And, Naomi was yelling at her like, you took a bump and you're laughing, you can't be laughing. And, they're yelling. It's got all this footage of, Naomi yelling at Mandy. And Mandy talks about how she went home broken.
After get a giant splash by Tamina.
Yeah, giant splash by Tamina. And then apparently Sonya says off camera, she won't repeat what was said, but Naomi said some horrible things to Mandy. And Mandy went home and she was so damaged by it that she went into a very dark place and she got dumped and stuff like that. So
the whole idea is from Naomi, this did cause this break in Mandy's relationship. So Mandy feels this weird psychopathic need to destroy Naomi's
relationship as revenge. It's like it'll make her feel better or something.
It's nice to have context for why with this and this history that is between these two.
Yeah.
Doesn't help it.
Doesn't help it at all.
If anything, it makes you look worse, Mandy.
Yeah.
I like how I'm talking to in this episode. Every time
talking to people.
I'm talking to them directly. I'm talking to Phoenix, talking to Mandy, talking to Schmiz, talking to all of them.
Yeah.
Directly, you.
But then she goes on about how my focus is the tag championships, and I was like, good. Let's just focus on that. Forget about this whole thing. Anyway, that cuts back into the tag match. So interesting thing about this tag match I found was that you can tag anyone in. So Heavy Machinery could tag the New Day in.
Yeah, we have seen this before.
I haven't seen this before, so this was interesting to me.
They did this a couple of weeks ago where the Usos just didn't get tagged. No one tagged them in.
Oh, wow.
So it was a big focus between, I think it was the Bar and it wasn't the New Day, it was somebody else. Mm-hmm. Forget who it was. But as in Usos just kind of got cut out of this. So although there wasn't a lot of in-team tagging, there was still a lot of tags going on. We saw a lot of cool stuff around all of them. New Day, they had Xavier out on the side. Causing interference with Francesca.
Yeah.
Big fan of that.
Love
it was a pretty solid match.
Yeah.
So in order of elimination, the New Day did get dropped first by Heavy Machinery after the compactor, which we couldn't remember the name of last week.
Love the compactor.
But then Heavy Machinery did get, I think it may have been Tucker Knight, got to be our bro kick. That took him out. And then shortly after, the Usos.
Came in after getting brutalized outside the ring.
They got properly mushed on the outside. Then they got the splash on, I believe it was Sheamus.
Yes.
And
exactly.
Usos are taking on.
One thing I did love was the start of the match. It was initially Otis and Kofi. And Kofi ended up tagging in Big E. And they had this little Battle of the Beasts type thing.
Big burly dudes being burly.
Big burly dudes. Yeah, they were running into each other and Otis does this brush off the shoulder thing and they were so much fun to watch at the start. They were hilarious.
He's got a good couple 100-pound dudes and they're doing the rope run and then they bump and normally
people go flying.
Decks everybody else.
Yep, they just stand in there just
it's almost like two walls collide and go, oh, that was weird.
Yeah. But yeah, it was definitely awesome. But obviously the Usos were able to capitalize because they were out on the recovering on the outside of the ring.
I love the Usos. I think the Usos are great.
I think they're definitely good competitors for
these guys are multiple tag team champions as it is. I haven't seen them myself in a little while. I'm very happy to see them come back out because if I see the bar again, I'm gonna punch myself in the face.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy to see the Usos come out.
I'm excited to see that at Elimination Chamber for sure.
But also give me more Heavy Machinery.
Definitely love Heavy Machinery. All about the caterpillar and that compactor is a beautiful move. They do some awesome.
It's 600 pounds of dude.
650.
650.
Yeah.
That's a lot of dude.
So then we cut. Afterwards, we see Mr. Daniel Bryan walking backstage. Catches a guy with a burger in his hand, stares at him for a little bit, and then smack!
Did they get that burger shit out of here?
Straight out of his hands. And then he enters the ring, and first thing he says is, "Do you know who won the Royal Rumble?" And everybody starts chanting, Becky.
Yeah,
and he's like, "No, it was me." So yeah, that was pretty funny. He's like, "No," he says, "No, you all won. Yeah. You all won essentially because I won because I am the champion for the planet. Which I am your champion.
Won for me. I won for you. I won for your children. I won for your children's children.
Exactly.
Because I am the planet's champion.
Exactly.
And we get after getting this bit sort of this rundown of about how he is fighting for the world. He's fighting, and there are moments where where AJ last week did come out and call him a hypocrite for sort of taking flights, carrying around this leather belt, and then we see Rowan enter, who did help him get the win at the Rumble, as we see his name flash across the screen with our recycling symbol WAN.
Yeah.
Interesting touch there.
Yeah.
So he comes out with what looks to be a belt bag. So during this discussion, in comes a trash can. Bryan talks about this hypocritical for me to carry this literal image of excess, whips it in the bin.
Yeah, well, he talks about how he gave it an identity. Her name is Daisy, and
unoriginal name for a cow.
Yeah, all this, she never knew love and stuff like that, but she knew unsufferable pain to become this belt. But yeah, he dumps it in the bin. I'm pretty sure the crowd start chanting like, "Please recycle" or something like that. They're talking about him recycling, but he just dumps it in the bin and whips out his new. It
is made out of 100% hemp and the wood of a fallen oak tree. And oddly enough, I dig the shit out of this.
Sustainable organic hemp and naturally fallen oak tree. I do too. Yeah. It is a beautiful belt. Absolutely stunning. I love the new look.
It looks like awesome coasters on a Hessian bag.
I love it.
Like the engraving, the details on the wooden front plates and side plates.
The natural blue opals and stuff like that. Man, if I could turn that into piercing jewelry, I would wear it because it is beautiful. But then,
this is why I love the power of the internet. Within 20 minutes, it was on 2K19. Someone had made it. I'm gonna go download that shit because I need to have that belt in my game.
Absolutely love it. But yeah, obviously we get AJ interrupting, and he's like, "Hey mate, you all right? Did you smoke the prototype to that thing?" Because and Bryan's just like, "No,
no, I didn't."
So grumpy. But yeah, then before he can finish his sentence, Randy Orton comes out.
Yeah.
And then
before we jump into that though, like I do want to cover this idea of this relationship between Rowan and Daniel.
Oh yeah.
So they talk about like the idea of like, although you may see this man as this brute with the dirt under his nails, but this man is my intellectual equal.
Peer.
Yeah, he's my peer, my equal. Like we are one in the same, and we share the same beliefs.
He's the only man who understands the truth in everything that I do.
Yeah, exactly. So this is kind of fueling a thought that I think we may have mentioned in the Rumble.
Yes.
The idea of this. Previously, both Rowan and both of the Bludgeon Brothers, as well as Daniel Bryan and even Braun Strowman, were all part of the Wyatt family. So with Bray Wyatt off in the ether, who knows where he is, being the eater of worlds, he could be anywhere.
Yeah. Probably find him in Minecraft. Down in the netherworld or something.
So like having them sort of come back together is kind of interesting, and it's kind of cool to see this change in shift to be having Daniel, because previously there actually was a moment where Daniel was about to be entered into the Wyatt family. He was about to get the sister Abigail, and that would be the one to get the turn, reverses it, beats the living piss out of Bray. Awesome moment, powerful moment. So for then him to take that family, it's seeming
like he's going to take definitely. It does seem like he. Obviously, having Rowan by his side, it definitely does seem like he is now a ringleader. Like tish. But yeah, it definitely seems like he's sort of heading this new like planet savvy family.
It doesn't make me wonder when the other, I keep saying the other member of the Bludgeon Brothers, I can't remember his name. When he returns from injury, I do wonder where we're going to see him get involved as well, and we're going to then have is there going to be like family.
Or could there be like, a Wyatt, another Bludgeon Brother?
Whereas I've tagged them as the hippie heels.
Love it.
So I think this hippie heel thing will be really interesting.
Yeah.
And then of course at some point Bray has to return and then be like, what have you done with my like? This is not what we do. This is not who we were.
Yeah.
It's very interesting to see where that goes.
Yeah,
but there's of course, as we said, then Randy Orton pops up.
I love his music.
And I hear voices.
Yeah, I was just like, I got so excited. I was like, Randy!
I'm just got damp.
Just a little bit.
He's humid.
Yeah, exactly. It was hot in my room. It was hot in my room, and I don't know. I was like, I spilled a bottle of water. It was fine.
Is it wet in here? It's just me.
Exactly. But and then so we're gonna add break.
Then we're gonna add break.
And then there's Jeff Hardy in the ring. There's Mustafa Ali chatting away, and then next minute Samoa Joe.
Yeah, it was awesome. So like Joe comes in, music kicks, he delivers, and
that man can shoot. Holy shit,
fire.
He can say some. Oh man, I've always been a bit on the fence about Samoa Joe, but when he started speaking,
did we mention when does Rey Mysterio get involved in this show?
No, he didn't. Was he?
Yeah, he got stomped. So I can't remember where it happened.
It must have been before Schmiz, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. And so we completely missed this moment where, so it was supposed to be a match between Rey Mysterio and Samoa Joe.
I didn't see any of that.
Yes, as Rey wanders out, he enters the ring. Selena Vega walks out, gets up in his shit saying, I know it was you that wouldn't let me in ringside last week, and I know it's because you think I'm a distraction. You can't help but look at me. So you should be focusing on Andrade. Speaking of focusing on Andrade, turn around. But doors!
Gosh! Yes.
Andrade comes out in a fucking delicious 3-piece suit, but and then just pisses the living piss out of him.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch it because I entirely missed that.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
And then so obviously the Joe Raid match didn't happen.
Yeah,
for that reason, because Raid's just a big hunk of mess.
Yeah. All power to Andrade. Yeah. I really appreciate it.
I can't wait to see him.
Yeah.
Although I like them beef, I want to see.
You'd like to see him take on somebody else.
I want to see him in tag team.
Yeah. Yeah, that could happen.
As we talked about earlier, with the idea of tag teams, know each other's work, they know how to bounce with each other really well.
They would be a phenomenal tag team.
These guys,
especially because they've got the height difference. They've got the same moveset, but having like Andrade as the bigger guy and then Rey as the little guy.
I like how you pronounce it. You don't say Andrade. You had the flair to it.
Well, that's how
Andrade.
It's how it's pronounced. Yeah. You got to roll your R's. It's Andrade.
But so having them be that equal sort of set, equal history, they will have an advantage. And
I would love to.
I hope that they can resolve their shit to make that happen.
I'd love to see them up against Schmiz. That would be interesting.
Hell yeah, I want to see them up against Schmiz.
Yeah. Anyway, so cut back to Samoa Joe just spitting absolute fire. And one of my favorite things is like Jeff Hardy he's like, whoa, hold up a minute. And he's like, hey, how about you treat this like an AA meeting and you shut your mouth when I'm sharing.
I'm like,
amazing.
I was like,
yeah. And what I loved is even Jeff was able to laugh at all. Yeah, he saw the humor in it.
Did you see Randy? Randy's like,
yeah. It was phenomenal. I was all about it. Like I said, I've never thought too much about Joe until right in that moment. I was just like, I like you.
But before that, like Mustafa comes out and he's like, this is fucking bullshit. All these Hall of Famers in here.
Yeah.
I'm the man that needs to sort of get involved in this. And Randy's like, you got thrown out by a girl, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Like, how do you feel? You got thrown out by a girl. But yeah, obviously, like, they start to get pushy and shovey, and while Joe's spitting his fire, he gets up on the apron, and then Daniel and Rowan slink out. They're just gone.
They go liquid for a minute.
Yeah, exactly.
They're out.
But yeah, and then obviously a brawl ensues, and they're all fighting in the ring, and like Daniel's standing on the announce desk, and he's like, none of you are gonna fight me. None of you are worthy. Rah rah rah. No,
I'll be champion forever.
Yep. And then Triple H is like, Bryan, hey, Daniel, up here. No, you're right. You're not gonna be versing any one of these men. You're gonna be versing all of them.
In the Elimination Chamber. Oh, I want all of it now.
I am so excited for this. He's losing his shit. He's unhappy as all hell. And Brawl just breaks out again. Everybody's like, okay, bam!
Yeah, credits.
That was the best way to end a show. That was phenomenal.
SmackDown is consistently being awesome. Like, unlike
all about it.
Even though they're the mild dips with like Mandy and shit, like it doesn't seem to meet the dips of Raw. Like, SmackDown has become my show.
Yeah, I've always favored SmackDown for sure.
I favored Raw when I came back.
Yeah, see, I've always back in the Attitude Era, you know, Raw is War. I was all about it. This was sort of before SmackDown really made its waves. But now, like, SmackDown is really putting its foot down, and it is anchoring itself as the better show, and I am all for it.
Oh man, like I want to okay. Let's talk about this Elimination Chamber match. We're about 2 or 3 weeks away because like it's a really short run between the two pay-per-views.
Yeah. It's the road to WrestleMania.
All right, so let's have a go. Look, let's run through them. Jeff Hardy. He's got history on his side. He's willing to push himself further than any other wrestler I've ever seen. Yeah, definitely. If push comes to shove, I think he will take those bigger hits. As in, like, he will put his body on the line to get that win.
Yeah, we've seen him jump off cages and shit like that. Like,
you see that one time he got speared by Edge off top of those.
Yeah, when he was hanging from the belt. Yeah, crazy. Those are my days. They're my matches. The Hardy Brothers versus Edge and Christian, like the Dudley Brothers. That's all my time. So I'm all, you know, for Jeff, an Elimination Chamber, that sort of full-on environment is where he thrives. So he's definitely in with a fighting chance. But obviously, we've got Samoa Joe. Obviously, he's just brutal.
I think Samoa Joe's in with a shot.
I think so too. Definitely because he's got the advantage of having that power to be able to throw people into things super hard. He will cause some damage. And
elimination's all about getting them out, like tapped or whatever. So
exactly.
If he does the the Conquilla clutch, like they're fucked.
Coquina
clutch. Sorry, I keep that L in there. The Coquina clutch, they're fucked.
Exactly it, especially if he's outside the ring on the grating.
They have to be in the ring.
Oh, they have to. Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So even if right,
brutalizing him with the
depending on where he comes out, if he's one of the first 2 in the ring and everyone else is in their chambers, all right, get out.
Done. Next.
Get out.
Exactly.
Like that's what could happen, and that probably that very likely would happen.
There is going to be some broken pods.
Yeah, and Mustafa Ali has some like he has motivation. He has this drive. Just coming fresh from NXT, he's got to prove himself.
I feel like out of everyone, he's at the most disadvantage because I don't believe he's been in an Elimination Chamber before.
Correct.
It is a brutal environment. I have seen some insane matches in those things. So I think he's definitely at a disadvantage, but at the same time, I think he knows that. And there's going to be a fire under his ass to try and prove that even though I've not done this before, I'm still worthy of it. And
I feel Randy's just there to get shit out people.
Yeah. Randy just, Randy's just no fucks given.
Like, I don't even think Randy even cares if he wins. He
just wants to beat somebody up, throw some RKOs, you know.
It just gives me the
He's
feeling
a viper. He just wants to sneak in, do his little thing, and get out.
Just come in, sneak away in, eat prey, and then bounce.
Yeah, exactly it. And then obviously the champion, Daniel Bryan. I don't know if he's been in an elimination chamber.
Without the assistance from Rowan or potentially, you know, both.
Well,
sorry,
yeah.
Like,
he won't have the assistance of Rowan because he's stuck in the chamber. That's not to say like he won't somehow like that guy's a strategist. He's always got something like he's got cogs ticking over in his head constantly. There's always something working in his mind. Guaranteed he'll be I feel like he'll be the last person to come out of a chamber. Like obviously they've got to give him some sort of advantage as the champion.
Yeah. Like, I don't think he'll have championship advantage in terms of like he can leave, he can still like can fight another day. I think it have to come down to like a fucking brutal fight.
Yeah,
like,
definitely. He is gonna have to fight. But I think that he's gonna have strategies in place and he's gonna know how to do things and talk to people and he's gonna work a way to try and get himself to where he needs to be. So I definitely think that Daniel's still in with a fighting chance. And honestly, I'm all about the champion for the planet, and I'd love to see him walk out of there with it. Yeah, very interesting to see.
Yeah. Let us know what you thought of SmackDown this week in those comments below, or as I mentioned before, at the Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/thepopculturist, and of course at Discord without wrestling talks. Now, one thing that we've mentioned pretty consistently in the last like 4 or 5 episodes is the Dirt Sheet Dash.
Dirt Sheet Dash.
Dash is our inside source for the wrestling, and he has been nice enough to not just provide the usual information he does from association. He is going to become part of our show. He will be delivering us his dirt sheet, or as he's called it, the Dishing the Dirt with Dirt Sheet Dash.
Love it.
Top secret. So he will provide us with a small cut of some of the hottest theories with his inside sources and his inside knowledge, letting us know all things wrestling. Now, as we mentioned before, with Dean Ambrose leaving WWE, just give 1 second.
Beautiful.
I'm running out of breathing ability. It's really annoying. So some of these are sort of hinting with the likes of AEW, but that's very important because a lot of these could be showing what's up, because I think once AEW drops, I'm going to be looking into watching it.
Yeah, I think it's something I'm all about it too.
I think it's very important for us to sort of talk into that as well, because I do think that's going to play a
lot
role
of the universes
in WWE.
they're going to play into each other for sure.
So kicking things off from the Dishing the Dirt with Dirt Sheet Dash is Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega are going to help AEW sign with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Yeah. Now, with Kenny Omega not showing up at the Rumble, we do have reason to believe he will be heading over to AEW. Which is a real shame. He was being offered like 7-digit numbers from, I think the last day was $23 million.
Wow.
To come wrestle.
Yeah.
And like, granted, there is beef there with Kenny, as with like the likes of AJ Styles, as well as previous Bullet Club members like Finn Balor.
Yeah.
And he has sort of taken on Shinsuke and whatnot in the past. So there is a lot of blood there, and it would be it's very interesting for him to either he didn't make the decision, or his contract, what did allegedly, once again according to Dash, run out at the end of the month. So as of today of recording, the 31st. Yes. So he was still under contract with Japan at the time, therefore he wouldn't have been able to make the appearance anyway.
Exactly.
But so go with that, with almost no doubt that Kenny Omega is now heading to AEW, as we said, and Chris Jericho signing a 3-year deal with the new upstart company. There are now wild rumors that AEW are in major contractual talks with New Japan Pro Wrestling for potential crossover talent working shows. This may be interesting, as New Japan have signed a brand new deal with Ring of Honor, whom they have been had a great relationship with in the past, and a few years having the Young Bucks and Marty Scurll being part of the major New Japan shows with storylines, including the Bullet Club. This is something that's interesting, and it's a great thing to sort of look at. So, with the likes of WWE, if you are on the WWE roster, you are contracted in. You cannot go to anywhere else. You can't do anything else. Yeah. AEW looking to be opening this sort of new deal.
Yeah. Fluid, cross-promotional.
Because Chris Jericho does have an open contract. Although he's 3 years with AEW, he can go wrestle in Japan. I don't know what it's like. I don't know whether he can go to WWE. Obviously, probably not, because they'll probably force him to sign a full contract. Plus, the history with Jericho, it's very unlikely that they're going to go there anyway.
Yes.
What do you think this sort of opens up for the future of wrestling? And do you reckon WWE can pick it up and bring it in? Because if we can see some other dudes come out, we can get Kenny Omega come in part-time and then boom, and then bounce?
Well, yeah, this is the thing I think with WWE is they're always looking to grow and progress. So if something like this takes off, which I think is an awesome idea, being cross-promotional, having that fluidity between the brands, it opens up a whole new world of wrestling, obviously bringing, your standard Americanized wrestling in with the New Japan style. Like, it's going to really make for interesting content. And WWE are always, like, obviously trying to be the biggest and the best. They've got the biggest stage shows. They've got, you name it, they've got it. And I think it will probably be something that if it takes off with these guys, they'll pick up on and they'll work with as well.
And, like, it's weird. It's weird. So WWE are very clearly cautious with AEW. They're having in the past had an issue with WCW. Like, these guys are keeping it on any new promotion that does pop up.
Exactly.
Now, we have seen reports of fans wearing AEW shirts to a show and then being asked forced to remove. There's twofold here. There's two things. If you're wearing an AEW shirt in the nosebleeds, they don't give a fuck. Yeah. They don't care.
But if you're ringside,
like these people have been, they're like, all right, take your shirt off.
Yeah, you're taking the piss
saying
now.
that on SmackDown, guy was wearing an AEW shirt with a jacket. Mm-hmm. So saying that, and the guy that's been sort of in recent pictures, he had a shirt on underneath. He knew that was coming off. Mm-hmm. He knew he was just there to stir shit.
Exactly.
So you can't complain when you're there to stir shit and shit happens at you.
But I'm excited to see the crossover if there is one. Like, I think that is an awesome move, and it'd be so fun to see that all coming together.
Another thing that as we just talked about SmackDown, AJ Styles has not yet signed again with WWE. Now, a 3-year veteran, former WWE champion AJ Styles has not yet decided his fate with the WWE. As he has not re-signed with the company. There have been many offers handed to Styles, including less dates and a nice pay raise, but it looks like Styles may be looking for a little more. Once again, with speculation of AEW may be looking to sign Styles, as well as the Good Brothers, who are another tag team. The crossover deal with NJPW, where Styles has wrestled for in the past, may entice the former members of the Bullet Club to cross over to Jacksonville-based organization. So with a lot of the guys from the AEW, they were a big sort of members of the Bullet Club and the Elite. So, like, there is a friendship there, and it's potential for them to sort of rejoin once again.
Exactly it. Yeah.
And that open fluid contract could be very interesting because, as we know, with AJ Styles, like, although he's very active right now, like he seems to be working on very handshake sort of deals. Yeah. The same way that Dolph Ziggler is right now. Yeah. That Dolph Ziggler is only appearing when he wants to, in the sort of, like, as in rock up the Rumble, fuck with Drew McIntyre. I'm out. I'm on hiatus again. Like, they're becoming very motivated. So, and I kind of think that AJ is doing the same. He's hanging out because he needs to take on Daniel Bryan right now. He wants to take on Daniel Bryan right now.
Yeah.
So if the only reason, I think, once the outcome of that, if he happens to become the next champion, keeps the belt again, we might see him. We might see him around.
Did forget to mention him in the Elimination Chamber.
AJ's in the chamber too.
AJ's in the chamber. Yep. Definitely in with a fighting chance because of the history.
And the forearm is awesome.
Yes.
So it depends on how that goes, whether we see him boot. It'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that.
We're keeping the AEW thread going. AEW eyeing off Brock Lesnar, according to Dirt Sheet Dash.
Interesting.
This is a fucking huge one.
Yeah.
AEW are now potentially writing up a surprise storyline heading into Double or Nothing, with the potential of signing the Beast for a feud with the Chris Jericho, the Alpha.
Interesting.
Now, I'm unsure what their history's been in the past.
I do
but
not remember.
if you can dominate WWE as a part timer, why don't you go fucking dominate somewhere else? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that if he's like, I took out the biggest WWE, I can take out these small time guys. I think
with Brock Lesnar, we've seen it in the past. He does jump ship and do different things a lot, in the sense that, like, I feel like he gets bored if he's in the same place for too long. So I feel like if he were to go to AEW, that'll light another fire up under his ass, and he'll get that motivation back to be a strong fighter again. I feel like the only thing keeping him at the moment is the fact that he's a champion.
That's correct. And because we do know that he in terms of his deal, he is on a handshake deal as well. For him, he can
rocks up whenever he wants.
Vince very much gives him the benefit of, like, just keep coming. Keep doing what you got to do.
Yeah.
So Jericho has taunted the past week after the Rumble pay-per-view, taking pot shots at Brock on Twitter and then later deleting the tweets. The tweets then have been previously stated, as per history records on the internet. Quote, intimidation and fear goes a long way in our business, guys. But let's be honest, Brock Lesnar needs to pull up his pants and lose that gut. The dream is over, dude. I don't play by the script. Brock Lesnar's contract with WWE will end at the end of WrestleMania 35. Dude,
Very
he just
interesting.
rocked and punched Jericho.
I love Chris Jericho because he is the mouth. Like, he will just say it how it is, even if he deletes it later on. Like, clearly he's got a reason behind doing it. I love that he just balls to the walls, just no fucks given. Like, he'll put it out there and he'll take the consequences. So I would love to see a Brock and Jericho feud. I would love it. Jericho's forever been one of my favorite wrestlers. Yeah. He debuted against The Rock. He came out talking about how he's the millennium, he's the future of the industry, he's this, that, and the other. I was straight away like on it. It's like, I was like, yes, you. And even when he turned around, he's like, you know, everybody was like cheering for this guy, and he's like, you know, started saying real assholey things, and like clearly he was the bad guy in this situation. I was still like, you. And to this day, I am still all about Chris Jericho.
I love it.
That's what I love about it.
So Brock Lesnar, you just made the list.
Yeah, buddy.
That brings us to the end of this week's episode of The Young and the Restless. If you liked what you heard, be sure to give the 5-star ratings or any sort of ratings on the iTunes or the Spotify's or whatever platform you listen to this show on. If you are on YouTube, make sure to give us a like and a subscribe if you do enjoy what we do and the other content we make here at the Pop Culturist. If you want to show the love for The Young and the Restless on your body, head to thepopculturist.com/shop, where you can buy shirts like this Seth freaking Rollins one, which you can't see because it's not video yet, but you'll see it in a couple of days. Potentially, as well as the one with the classic logo. If you want to show some love further, head to patreon.com/popculturists, and on top of that, go to the Facebook group and that sort of shit. Social groups, all the socials in the description below. I'm still nailing down this entrance exit thing.
Early days.
But until the next one, I'm Ryan Betson alongside
Degeneration X.
We'll see you on the next one.
Bye.